WRCR.com. Welcome, everybody, to the show. And joining us now, as she does every Monday at this time, it's the executive editor of and publisher of RCBizJournal.com, Tina Trasser. Good morning, Tina. How are you?
Good morning, the beautiful people of Rockland County. How is everybody today?
We're all good, thank you. How are you? Waiting for the snow?
I'm going to try to believe that it might not come, but it's probably wishful thinking.
Yeah, well, it could end up being a Rockland County nothing. We don't know. We're not sure yet. Looks like we're getting some, though.
So speaking of things that people would wish would rather not happen, we can talk about the town of Orangetown that is taking first steps to do something that it hopes it'll never have to do. And so the subject today is eminent domain. This is going to be an interesting thing for not just the people of Orangetown, but the whole county to watch. Sort of an interesting textbook exercise in what happens when there is a... Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought I went out there. What happens when a town plunges in and sort of takes control of a privately held property, in this case held by the Chinese government, decides to try to steer its future because it is deemed a valuable and strategic piece of land, finds itself up against a difficult to deal with Chinese government, not a big surprise there, and then has to decide, as Orangetown has, to initiate the process of eminent domain, which in plain terms simply means to endeavor to take title of this 106-acre property. The property that we're talking about is the former IBM Center down on Route 9W, which has long been the HNA Hotel and Conference Center, and has been shuttered since the pandemic now for a couple of years, and is in really dire condition as it continues to be neglected. That's often what enables a government entity to initiate an eminent domain, a taking of the property for fair market value. But that said, this is not a simple process. And not only that, oftentimes, let's say a town will take a property because it is in disrepair or because it's strategic to the functioning of a town. But in this case, you also have a developer that was supposed to negotiate, and according to the town of Orangetown, is still at the negotiating table with the owners of HNA. And that developer apparently is still in the mix. And so this is, as I guess, another... I don't know whether this is a benefit or not to also still have the developer at the table. But one thing that the town officials are saying is that the developer is going to cover the costs of an appraisal and some other of these processes as Orangetown moves forward. Now, as I said when I started out, at a town board meeting last week, Teresa Kenny really indicated, I almost think that maybe this move is partially about trying to push HNA to get over the finish line and do a deal with this pair of developers. Their name is Reveal. They're a pair of developers out in California, but it's been about 2 years, and this is not the first deal that has not gone through. There was a previous deal for about $40 million on the table, and that never materialized. So definitely a problem with this rather valuable piece of land. Now, the land itself, I want to talk about the proposal is of what to do on this piece of land is rather sweeping, and I would be surprised if the land had all of these things. But the proposals include to spruce up the hotel, to bring in co-working and test kitchens and 20 to 30 townhomes. But the thing that caught my ear in the meeting last week was glamping. Glamping. That is one of my favorite portmanteaus.
As you're talking about, like, glamorous camping, is that what we're talking about?
Glamorous camping.
Right.
And it's interesting. I mean, first of all, it's a little hard to envision how glamping would work side by side with townhomes, a hotel, co-working, a farm, all these other things, because glamping brings it's really an interesting concept, and it is popping up all over the Hudson Valley, particularly in Ulster County and in north of, I would say, north of Westchester and Rockland. As far as I know, and I always know someone will call me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we have any glamping yet here in Rockland County. And it's an interesting concept because it's a hospitality concept that offers an alternative to the typical flag hotel. It's an opportunity to put people closer to nature, but still give them their comforts. It's a very new and interesting hospitality concept. By new, I mean like maybe the last 10 years, that has really taken off in places that can support it. Now, just last week in our newish column that we call Upstate Update, which we're running about every 2 weeks, and we talk about things that are going on north of Rockland County. We wrote about two different glamping stories. One involving a controversial glamping site that is in Ulster County called Awasting Club, where they've been essentially running these geodomes and glamping site for a while, and residents are fighting back because they say that it's got ecological impacts. And then we did a second brief about a place called Terramore Outdoor Resort, which is a chain that does glamp grounds, and they had been on the books to try to get a glamping site opened up in Saugerties along Route 212, not far from Woodstock. And after a long fight and I guess enough environmental activist pushback, they withdrew their application. That said, though, there are other glamping sites that we've reported on, not exactly glamping, but we did a piece about Auto Camp, which is a very cool spot up in Ulster County, also near Saugerties. That is it's like an RV, like a very upscale RV camp, meaning that the structures are permanent, and people come and they stay overnight in what essentially is like an RV ground, but let's say RV ground with benefits, with lush benefits, and that site has glamping, airstreams, right? Airstreams, and that site has also is a glamp ground as well. So that's an interesting example of what hospitality can look like.
And as if on cue, as you predicted, we do have a caller who is talking about some Rockland glamping sites. If you don't mind, we're going to go to the phones right now and hear about that.
All right.
Hi,
Okay.
can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you. Is this Susan?
Yeah.
Hi.
Quiet. Sorry, my dogs want to talk. There's a site called Tentrr, Tentrr, that has set up some glamping tents in Harriman State Park, believe it or not. And we all, hikers kind of laugh about it because it's so ridiculous. They charge like $135 a night for this tent thing. They have a bed, like a cot thing and a little quiet.
Sounds like somebody wants to go glamping.
Oh yeah,
I know, right?
We're on our way to go hiking. Anyway, so they have a bed, they have like a little compost toilet thingy or whatever, and a fire pit. But they've sited them. Some of them are near the lake, but it's not exactly in nature. You know what I mean? It's like people are walking by all the time. Some of them are very close to the parking lot because I guess people don't want to walk that far. But they have these sort of glamping tents. They've had them there for a couple of years now. I think the pandemic made it really boom. Like because people wanted their own accommodations. But like for $135 a night, you could probably stay in a semi-decent hotel. But anyway, so apparently this company is encouraged and they're expanding all over the place. So they're here and they're here.
I think I have heard of that before. Yeah, Tentrr, Tentrr, I think is how it's spelled.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can look. Like they have the tent platforms up now. They'll probably put the tents up in April or May. I have pictures of them I can send to you. That it's sort of. Of course, the people who hike in the park think it's, sort of an abomination. But, of course, we would think that. So
I never heard of somebody wanting an actual campsite right next to a parking lot. But, different strokes for different folks.
Exactly. It's not exactly, it's not in the middle of the woods. On the other hand, people don't want to walk to the middle of the woods. They're into glamping. So it's what are you going to do? I don't know.
I think it puts you one step closer to nature. It feels like an experience. It's experiential, right? It feels different than staying up.
My dogs are going crazy. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Susan. Much appreciated. And maybe once you glamp, maybe next step is a camping site. You never know.
Yeah, I think is that Orange County or Rockland?
I think Harriman. I think is Orange. Yeah, but it's pretty close.
It's close by, yeah. But I could envision. We have 30% of Rockland is actually green. It's hard to believe that, but 30% of this county is actually green, and one could envision, where we could do the same thing. But it will be interesting to see if glamping becomes part of a one-day renewed vision for the this IBM site, the former IBM site.
And maybe people could start doing it in the parking lot at Palisade Center.
Oh yeah.
You got everything. You got everything you need right next door, right nearby, just in case.
Yeah, I think we'd have to call that grumping, since people would be very grumpy about it. But we shall see. Glamping.
Yeah,
glamping is
the future.
That's the future, indeed.
Well, hey, thank you, Tina. I'm sorry we are out of time. We do have a paid program coming up next, so we got to take a break now. And we do appreciate you coming on, as always, on a Monday. And if anybody wants some more information about the publication, just go to rcbizjournal.com, and you can sign up for newsletters and get all the Rockland County business news you need. And it's got good search tools and everything else. Thank you so much, Tina, for joining us, as always. Have a great week.
Bye. You
Bye.
too.